In today's video, we're gonna be surviving 100 days in Pixelmon. But there's a catch. In these 100 days, we're gonna be catching 100 custom Pixelmon. And we're also gonna be catching 5 legendary custom Pixelmon. But before I get into today's video, I wanted to say make sure to smash that like button and also subscribe to the channel for more videos. Anyways, guys, without further ado, let's get into the very long video. It took forever! Day 1 started like any other in a regular Pixelmon playthrough. You're here on an island, stranded in the middle of nowhere with your friend Shaker.
Oh wow, bruh.
Link in the description below.
So as you can see, we started out, we chose our starters, which was Grookey and Scorbunny. I gotta say, Scorbunny's texture is lit.
Get it? Cause he's fire Scorbunny lit. Anyways, so Shaka had the idea of collecting wood to build a boat to try to sail to another island, and I had other plans. So have you guys ever had an idea where you're just like, this is the best idea ever? Well, I had the stupid idea that we would dig a tunnel, and I mean stupid idea that we would dig a tunnel all the way to an island. While there was a simple solution to build a boat, I saw potential to dig a freaking hole in Minecraft. So after a few minutes of Shaka convincing and begging me to please leave the tunnel and go up to the surface, I joined him to the surface, where we took a journey to a big island. I think at this point we were on day 4.
So after that and exploring the water for what felt like years, we finally found some mountain land, and we both like Larvitar, and we also like Riolu, and we knew that those Pokemon spawn here on the mountain, so we decided to set up camp here and just live here forever. I then spent the next few days pretty much setting up the house, building it up, getting some apricorns, putting it around the house, and building a mine for us to mine iron and diamonds and other resources from. On day 10, we pretty much built we finally built an anvil, and then we also were able to finally build the healing center because we found diamonds, and I also made a diamond pickaxe to make mining in the future a little bit easier. Now, I will say, at this point, when I made the anvil, in my head I was thinking, God, this is terrible to have to sit here and hammer these freaking iron things in. So I was trying to think of a way to have it be done automatically, and that's pretty much where the next idea comes into play, and where most of my journey is spent for the next X amount of time, honestly. After what felt like an eternity, we finally had built an anvil, and this was kind of where I became a little bit freer and got to start catching stuff, because now we had something that was going to automatically produce iron bottoms and tops for the lids for the Pokeballs, and just make things a lot easier for us to kind of progress. But eventually I wind up updating it again. So Shaq actually wound up catching a Riolu and offered to give it to me, so that was awesome. And then I wound up having a custom textured Riolu. Woo! Now, remember how I mentioned that I would upgrade the auto anvil machine? Well, I wound up doing that, and in the process, I had begged Shaka to get us some coal and iron, and so that was the reason why I needed the coal and iron, was so that I could create these hoppers and create a bunch of bottoms and tops so we could have a ton of Ultra Balls and Pokeballs to try to catch more Pokemon and kind of speed up things. So what the automated anvil does is it allows you to put in the lids at the top. It'll carry it through the machine. You can put coal on the right-hand side, and it'll just auto anvil them, all of them, instantly. And then in the bottom, you'll have the finished products over and over again on loop. Now that we had an auto anvil, on day 41, we started going ham on catching things. Even I jumped in and started catching stuff, while prior to this, I was just building a bunch of Ultra Balls. On day 43, Shaq and I started trading once again. This is how we were helping each other complete the Pokedex, since it was a team effort of catching 100 custom Pixelmon. Captured Hoot-Hoot. I also captured Shuppet, I captured Stunky, and I captured Glameow. I also found a Coalossal. Now, I'm not gonna lie, he was quite a challenge to catch, but we did finally catch him after a lot of battling and just trying to get him low enough to catch. Shaq and I once again started trading, and we're getting closer and closer to filling the actual Pokedex. He found this really cool one called Araquanid, and it looks sick. So I just had to show you guys it. It's day 53 now, and we had been collecting tons of Pokemon. We've been catching them. I've been mass producing Ultra Balls, and we finally hit an amazing number of 90. We were so close, and our goal was to try to get it done in another 2 days, because that would give us enough time to hunt down our 5 legendaries and catch them. So after about 27 days we spent grinding and leveling our Pokemon. It was finally day 80 and our first legendary had spawned, and it was Entei. So Shaka decided to go ahead and try to catch this one, so I just spectated the match while he dueled Entei in a rigorous battle, and we finally caught our first legendary Pokemon. I do have to say, Entei's model looks so cool with the custom texture. It's probably one of my favorites of the Pokemon that we've seen so far. I love the red and black colors on it, and when you ride it, it just looks awesome. I can feel its power emanating from it. Day 87 came super fast, and I was on to our next legendary, and this time it was my turn to catch the legendary. Now, I gotta say, Kyogre put up a great fight and actually almost completely wiped out my team. My Snorlax had 14 health when this was finished, and I was freaking out. I used the last Ultra Ball hoping that this would be the one, and you know what? It was. It was. We caught Kyogre. I don't know what the odds are to survive on 14 health, but we did. As you can see here, we have this black and blue color. He looks kind of like a killer whale with those eyes too, I gotta say. But honestly, I love it. It's a very nice and cool look for him. Now, on day 94, I found a Thundurus. You know, out of all the Pokemon that I tried to catch, including legendaries, this one took the cake. I must have used at least 100 Ultra Balls against this guy, and he was just refusing to be caught. I thought I was going to die. This is on 3 times speed, and as you can see, I was really struggling. I mean, I used Snorlax to kind of tank him and try to survive. But even with Snorlax, like, there was a good chance he'd die, and then, you know, he just kept wiping through all my team, and I got scared that I was going to lose against this one as well. I got down to the final one, yeah, we just kept using Ultra Balls and hoping that he would be caught, and he finally got in the ball after, like I said, like 100 attempts of trying to catch him. This is times 3 speed, and you can still see I used a bunch of Ultra Balls right there. It must have been at least 30. And that was only, like, a fourth of the battle. But, yeah, I love, like, the custom texture here that we have for him, too. It kind of reminds me of, like, Santa Claus, except he's, like, a scary Santa Claus. Day 99. Rayquaza finally spawned. We kind of had Rayquaza in mind as, like, the final one. Because, first off, he's actually probably one of the hardest legendaries to catch. He learns a move called Rest. We had spotted one earlier in the playthrough, which he basically murdered us, so we didn't really want to show it too much, because he literally murdered us. Like, it wasn't even like, oh, we had a chance, it was like he destroyed us. Even right now, with the level 70 Tyranitar, you can see that you know, Shaka was having trouble. So what we wound up doing is we combined our Pokemon, and I gave him my legendaries and any of my strong ones. He used his strong ones, and we took on Rayquaza, the final boss, so to speak, of this adventure. And we basically were gritting our teeth, hoping we had A, enough Ultra Balls to catch him, and B, that our Pokemon would survive. Because if we couldn't catch him, you know, honestly, I don't think we would have been able to complete the challenge. Like, this was like last minute. He spawned, we're freaking out, we're like, yes, we need to come up here at the top of the mountain and just do this. We need to catch him now. Pokemon after Pokemon being defeated, each one dying like a butter knife slicing through bread, Rayquaza having no trouble murdering all of them, and then the magical Pokemon appears, the one that Shaka had caught that I don't actually have footage for, unfortunately. Diancie! And he caught Diancie, and it turns out since Diancie is a fairy type, Rayquaza doesn't do anything to it, pretty much. Most of his skills are not effective to it, and the ones that are literally do no, like, not very effective. And yeah, so we were able to just spam Ultra Balls at him until he finally submitted to our god of a Pokemon, Diancie. Now, of all Pokemon, would I say Diancie would strike me as the god killer, so to speak? Absolutely not. No, it looks too innocent. But in reality, it did the job. So good job. We got very lucky, and we did it. We caught Rayquaza. So to end the series off, we figured we'd ride back to our original starting place. And I hopped on my Kyogre and we darted off at fast speeds. No, wait, that's not right. Yeah, so Kyogre can't move inland. When it tries, it's like watching a tipped-over cow try to get back up. It's just not happening. So I recalled Kyogre, and I pulled out my other buddy, Lucario. And we used Lucario, and that boy's fast. Now, the problem with him being so fast is that he's a little too fast. And we got stuck in a hole that we could not get out of, because he just kept darting through the walls. So I had to dig my way out. We eventually made it to the ocean, where now I knew I could pull out Kyogre, and we'd be able to swim across that ocean at super light speeds. So I pushed Kyogre into the water. Don't ask me how my tiny little Minecraft body was able to move him, but once we hit that water, we moved like a jet. It was beautiful. We glided through the water, heading back to where we first started. Now, we knew the coordinates because we made sure to write them down at the beginning of our adventure, and we wanted to make sure that we had the best way to remember everything, so we started our exploration back. And we, on this journey, realized just how far we came. And I do mean far. Like, our starting area was a solid 20-minute water ride. Like, we were just swimming in the ocean for 20 minutes straight. So I'm not going to show you all of that footage. What I'll do is I'll skip to, when we're actually closer to it. But yeah, it took a really long time to get to our starting place, and I didn't even feel like it was that long when we initially made our way over here. But the only thing that crossed my mind when we realized how long it took us to get back there was I initially wanted to build a tunnel to land. Had I built that tunnel, I would still be playing this game right now. We would still be going through our days. Actually, probably we'd be at day 1000 by now, because I wouldn't have slept. I just would have straight dug a hole to infinity. And eventually probably hit lava. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. So here we were. We finally made it to the starting place where it all began. And we figured we'd watch one last sunset together. Shaka and I. And then, for some reason, Shaka left me and said, "Goodbye, friend," and flew off into the sunset. And I was left pondering why he left me behind. So then I chased after him and followed him in pursuit, and we both flew off into the sunset. And that pretty much concludes the playthrough, the 100 days survival. So thank you guys, thank you to every single one of you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to smash that like button and also subscribe. And before I end this video, I wanted to show you guys some cool aerial shots that I wound up taking afterwards to show you guys just how much we actually did and what it all looked like. And I gotta tell you, it looks freaking terrible. We did an awful job with decorations. I'm not gonna lie here, it's mostly my fault, but it looks terrible, guys. Like, I did awful, I'm sorry. Yeah, we did that. But the apricorns was all Shaka. I blame him for that. That's all him. Alright, what are you still doing here? Okay, you should be leaving now. Goodbye.